As O'Connor watched, something emerge from the ship, walking as though it hadn't before, in bursts, before standing straight, then taking the next step. It was an alien, he was certain. He tended to see a lot of different species on backwater worlds like Fryoff. Yet, this alien was different, and though O'Connor couldn't quite see it yet, there was a certain presence around it, an air of danger and madness, like someone was watching you. No, not watching, stalking. The creature turned, and O'Brien knew why he had felt what he had. There, walking towards the renting space for the spaceport, was perhaps the most disturbing thing O'Connor had ever seen. It was vaguely humanoid, with the same number of limbs as a human, but it was out of proportion. Its head was too low on its neck that it seemed to have none, at least until it looked around and O'Connor saw it. Its neck was not non-existent, nor even short as he had assumed. Instead, it was long, at least the creature's own wingspan, and it inflated from below the head, pushing its head outward as it combed the area, though its face was still hidden by a black shawl. O'Connor ducked under the boxes he was using for cover, holding his breath until he finally could not and breathed, then snatched another peek, and flinched as the hands and feet of the creature, which had before been tucked in like the head, had expanded in the maybe 15 seconds he had ducked behind the boxes. Each limb also now was shown in full light, revealing an almost metallically shining pale gray skin. It continued to walk toward the renting box, though now instead of walking as though it hadn't before, it glided across the damp spaceport with an almost grace I had not thought it could portray. O'Connor had not thought it could portray. It was over to the renting office in two shakes of a lamb's tail, and O'Connor quickly pulled out his high-distance hearing aid. Came the voice of what O'Connor assumed to be the renting clerk. That'll be 10 Cs, please. The creature made the most terrible sound ever to enter O'Connor's ears. It screamed so loudly that O'Connor was pretty sure people on Fryoff's moon could hear. The noise sent uncontrollable shivers down O'Connor's spine, and he ducked behind the boxes once more. A moment after the sound had passed, another one came, that of a ship door opening. O'Connor peeked over the edge and saw another thing emerge from the alien ship. First, he feared it was another one of those creatures, but as it walked up to the rental station, Connor saw, with what little relief he could muster, that it was another human. Turning back on his hearing aid, O'Connor caught a new voice, presumably the human's, saying, "Here, 10 blue Cs." "Thank you, sir," the rental employee said, his voice shaking noticeably. Then the human and alien walked down the hall out of view. After a moment, I walked up to the rental station, quietly so the employee wouldn't notice. When O'Connor arrived, he found the employee's back turned to the window, furiously searching through a data card. "Hello," O'Connor said. "Where did they go?" The employee jumped, visibly, half out of his skin, then pointed down the hall, gestured to the left, and nodded. O'Connor nodded in return, and walked in that direction, summoning what courage he had left. He had a bounty to catch.
Wow, excellent. So we start with we established that for O'Connor, seeing aliens is common, except this one alien has this presence. You say it's the most disturbing thing, and it's vaguely humanoid, and so you describe it physically, but then you also say it glided, and you really surprised us by saying it was almost graceful, which based on the appearance we weren't expecting. And you also describe the sound it makes, and of course with this presence, with this aura of fear, it also, you also describe what feelings it evokes. So really great variety, and of course great ending, showing that even though the main character is frightened, he has a bounty to catch, and he's actually hunting for this alien. So really well done.
And I'd like to add that I liked that it was a bit ambiguous, this description of the neck. I really liked your focus on that. That first you say that it's short, and then it turns out that it's not. Um, I think that ambiguity is certainly good for imaginary creatures. It's almost like this is a shapeshifter in a certain way, even though it isn't. So that was a nice extra touch to it. Um, yeah. Otherwise, very nice.